There is one thing I keep seeing in hospitals that really needs to stop. Have you ever seen someone, maybe a doctor, a nurse, or even a non medical worker, who wears gloves everywhere they go? They never take them off, like Mickey Mouse. They touch patients, door handles, folders, charts. They touch their face, they rub their nose, they scratch their itch, all while wearing the same pair of gloves. And I see that in restaurants too. I don't eat there. Aesthetically, this might look professional and hygienic, but in truth, it's the exact opposite. Because as long as they are wearing these gloves, there is one thing they are definitely not doing, and that is washing their hands. I guess they think that gloves magically sanitize everything they touch, or more likely, they're not thinking at all. Please don't ever be that person. The misuse of gloves really exploded after the pandemic. Fortunately, those times are long gone now, but for many, bad habits persist to this day, so let's get rid of them once and for all. Non-sterile medical gloves are no substitute for hand hygiene. Period. You had gloves on when you were in contact with your patient's blood, stool, or whatever? Okay, now please wash your hands. Oh, you're about to do a procedure that requires such gloves? Good. Wash your hands before you put on the gloves. Never forget that gloves are not 100% impenetrable to bacteria. They do provide a significant degree of protection, but they are not perfect. There are always microscopic tears that allow bacteria to pass through. So, you are not fully protected from the bacteria on your patient's skin or bodily secretions, but neither is your patient protected from the bacteria on your unwashed hands. So please, once again, wash your hands before you put on the gloves and after you remove them. Yes, it's cumbersome, but that's the job. And don't ever disinfect or wash your gloves. If they are contaminated and you need to move on to another task or another patient, remove them, wash your hands, and put on a fresh pair. Washing gloves or disinfecting them with alcohol does more harm than good. The chemicals we use for hand washing and disinfection, along with the rubbing, right, inevitably create tears in the gloves, rendering them useless. Again, all the crazy stuff we did in the pandemic, let's leave it in the past. Gloves are no substitute for hand washing. They bring a false sense of security, and if used improperly, they actually do more harm than good. Which brings me to the next crucial question. Do you even need gloves? What are you about to do? Are you at risk of coming into direct contact with your patient's blood, saliva, urine, feces, something that is potentially infectious? If not, you probably don't need gloves. Touching your patient's intact skin with your bare hands does not expose you to any risk whatsoever. Your patient is not a poison frog. Their skin is not venomous. And unless there is a wound or an ulcer, you don't need gloves. You just need to wash your hands before and after you come into direct contact with the patient. Not so much for your own protection, but primarily to make sure that you don't transmit bacteria from one patient's skin to another. Some of your patients may be colonized by various antibiotic-resistant bacteria, and we don't want to introduce those bacteria to other patients. That is how we control the spread of hospital-acquired infections. Now, if the patient is under contact precautions like patients infected with Clostridium difficile or colonized with extremely resistant bacteria, you may be required to wear gloves every time you come into direct contact with them, but this still doesn't change anything regarding hand hygiene. Before you come into direct contact with the patient, wash your hands, regardless of whether you are about to put on gloves. After contact, wash your hands again, regardless of whether you wore gloves. If you did wear gloves, remove them, dispose of them, and again, wash your hands. Do not touch the doorknob, the chart, the keypad, or anything else with those gloves. They are covered in bacteria, mostly bacteria that reside in the human colon, like E. coli, Klebsiella, Acinetobacter, and Pseudomonas. Yes, your gloves may be white, but so is a toilet bowl. You are wearing a toilet bowl on your hands. Dispose of it and wash your hands. When you are done with the patient, you are done with the gloves too. And don't forget, you only need non-sterile gloves if your patient is under contact precautions or you are at risk of coming into direct contact with the patient's body fluids or mucous membranes. So again, blood, saliva, urine, feces, respiratory secretions, those kinds of things. Simply touching their skin, clothes, or surroundings does not require gloves. You just need to wash your hands. This is such a widespread and serious problem, but it can be solved for free. $0. Just a little bit of awareness. If you work in healthcare, I guarantee you know somebody who fits the bill. Do them a favor and share this video. Take care.